My favorite book is this one, without a doubt. It's called The Citadel. It was written in 1930, and it was recommended to me by my dad, who was probably one of the most compassionate physicians I've ever met. And it's a remarkable, heartwarming tale of a young Scottish physician who decides to start his early career, medical career, in a very small, poor mining town. And it really touched me. And I was, I think, 16 when I read this book. So I still read it sometimes. I was 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to play the saxophone. And my parents said, "What?" I said, "The saxophone." And they said, "What is that?" There was nobody playing the saxophone in India, so that was out. So I played these right here. They're the Indian drums. They're called tablas, T-A-B-L-A-S. This is actually the tabla. This is the bass, if you will. That's the bass. That's called the daga. Mostly it's an instrument, percussion instrument, used for classical, North Indian classical music, but you could play Indian pop, Bollywood songs and accompany it. American music, born here, raised here, and shines here. Unfortunately, a lot more popular elsewhere in Europe and Asia than it was here. I'm talking about jazz. These are some of my close friends, the jazz musicians that I hang out with. You know, they're like my psychiatrists, and it's a lot cheaper. They're wonderful. And these are some of the very best, not just in Pittsburgh, probably one of the best in the country. And Pittsburgh jazz scene, without a doubt in my mind, is the best kept secret. Only old people like me know how great Pittsburgh is. This was birth of some of the finest and greatest jazz musicians. There are many Steeler players over the years that I really liked, but this is my man. He's so cool. I mean, not only he's a tremendous player, but he's a gentleman, and he's a role model for a lot of young people. That's him, Troy Polamalu, my man. A whole lot of the members of my family are physicians. My grandfather was a physician, so was my dad, my dad's only brother, my mother's brother, and two of my dad's first cousins who lived just around the corner from us, so I saw them all the time. They were all physicians, so growing up, if anyone asked me, he said, "What are you going to do when you grow up?" I said, "Of course I'm going to be a doctor," because I didn't know there was anything else I could do. But specifically, why did I go into pediatrics? I think my dad, again, was a wonderful influence on me, very positive. He was a general practitioner, but 70% or more of his patients were in the pediatric age group. So when I was in med school, I used to go and hang out at his clinic, and I always marveled at his holistic, comprehensive approach to the family and his charming mannerisms with the child. You know, he used to tell me, if you go into geriatrics, most likely you're going to be fighting against nature. But in pediatrics, because of the children's resilience, nature is going to fight with you and fight for you. And that really hit me right there. When I walk into the office, I go into an exam room, and there are these parents, maybe one, mom or dad or both, with their child or infant. And I walk in, I start to introduce myself, and they look at me and say, "Dr. Pai, don't you remember us? You were our doctor." And I just stop there for a second, and I think, they have brought their child back to us to take care of. Their most prized possession, and they've entrusted you with their care. Now, you tell me, if this is not a supreme reward, what else is?